Hello, my friends. I'm going to be inviting Cindy to come and join us. We are ready to chat a little more about yeast infections, why they happen, how we can prevent them. Hello, Cindy.
Hi
Welcome.
there. Hi, Alexandra. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you? It's sunny outside. I can't believe it. Finally, we're having a couple of sunny days coming up. So I'm very excited to soak up the vitamin C, vitamin D, and the sunshine. I call it the vitamin sun.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about you? How are you?
I'm doing good. I did a little bit of gardening, like watering all the plants and getting out the garbage and just like checking up on the stuff outside, the pool and all the stuff. So like my morning ritual, you know. But
Yes.
it's nice if you do it in the sun, so it gets your body moving. It is
Yes.
so important.
It's perfect way to
Yeah.
start the day. Yeah.
I know. So yeah, last week we had a really great conversation about yeast infection and about how women going through perimenopause with the decline of estrogen get, a little bit thinner and weaker muscles down there in the pelvic floor and also in the vaginal area. And there is more prone or more risk for yeast infection, especially with a diet that is high in carbs and sugar.
Yes.
So today we were thinking about talking about more candida and what other symptoms are related to a high yeast kind of overgrowth in the body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely yeast infection was one if you have an imbalance and if you have a lot of yeast. But there's also other traits such as fatigue or, stubborn fat or even very, very strong sugar cravings, irritability, anxiety, brain fog. There's so many things that's related to too much yeast in the body. So that's why Alexandra and I, in our 6-week program, the very first module is about lowering the sugar, lowering the carbs, and going onto an anti-candida diet. It's really low glycemic. And it's great for people who want to prevent diabetes, who are even diabetic. It's a great protocol. And the goal is really just to get rid of all of this yeast and to rebalance your gut microbiome, which
Yes.
affects everything, right? It affects sleep, it affects your immune system.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Pilates will be part of that, right? To help you reduce your stress level during this time.
Exactly. Yes. So, does yeast infection get affected by stress levels as well? Is that connected at all? The cortisol?
So, yes, so stress changes your gut bacteria. It does have an impact on it. So does sleep. So, and obviously stress affects your immune system. So it's not as easy to combat these infections. So yeah, for sure, your goal if you're prone to yeast infections is to change your diet so that you cut out the sugar, the alcohol, and all the refined carbs. And then we'll tell you exactly what to put back in because you don't only want to starve out the candida, you also want to kill some of the microbes, right? Some of the pathogenic microbes. So there's, antimicrobial herbs. There's all of these teas that we'll add in to kind of get rid of this candida overgrowth.
So, what kind of tea are we talking about?
So you want to go very specific, or do you want to save it for our program?
Uh, well, I'm
So I'll
curious.
give
I
you
want to save it for the program. So,
yeah,
yes, a
yeah,
little
no.
teaser
So,
here.
so just off the bat, for sure, there's things that you can find in your kitchen. Oregano is a great one. Clove is also really great. So is garlic. But we're gonna give you recipes so that you can do that through the day and through your meals, really, just to balance your gut bacteria. And also, people don't often know this, but there is a difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic. So even if you take probiotics and you're taking fermented foods and you're really good with, like cutting out the sugar, your gut bacteria also needs to feed on food, and their food is called prebiotic. So all the, plant fibers, and so we'll talk about that in the program as well. What are the high prebiotic foods you want to also introduce while you're doing this anti-candida cleanse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love
I
nature.
wanted to actually I wanted to hear more because you were talking about Cozy Pilates and how that helps to reduce stress, especially before going to bed.
Yeah.
And we all know how stress and sleep all ties into your gut bacteria and it all ties into your immune system.
Yeah.
So how does your Cozy Pilates aim to help women reduce their stress and get better sleep?
Okay. I share a little bit Personal story. I remember I was a very highly caffeinated Pilates teacher because I thought the more energy, the more fun, the more hyper I am, the better, right? And there is good times for high energy, and there is times for like lowering the stress. And I realized I was getting too much coffee in my system, which was affecting my sleep. And sometimes I would put sugar or milk with sugar. I didn't even know that oat milk has so much high glucose level. So I realized that when I'm putting oats milk in my milk was giving me more sugar and more energy that I could handle. So I was getting my body stressed. So I wasn't able to sleep, especially if I didn't monitor what time I had my last coffee. I didn't even know that you can have caffeine in your bloodstream for such a long time after, it was like 4 or 5 hours. So I decided to, of course, cut any milk, so to have black coffee and one in the morning, that's it. And then after lunch, if I needed to wake up my body, I'll do a little wake up, a little speedy walk around the block. So just give me that little extra wake up call, especially when you have a big lunch and you feel like you could go to a food coma, you could have a siesta. Don't, just go for a walk to wake you up. So when I'm doing my Cozy Pilates, what I'm trying to achieve is to bring you back into your breathing, because a lot of the times how we breathe affects also our stress and our sleep. So we go back into the essentials. So the ABCs is alignment, breathing, and control. So I want to bring you back to yourself to connect. And then we go into things like tight hips, especially if you come home from an office desk job, we check and stretch these hips. We stretch the neck and shoulders and our ribs. Sometimes from the slouching position, we get a lot of that limited breathing space. So that even just breathing deeply relaxes you, releases all the good endorphins, right, and the good hormones, and then it kind of gets you into the mood for sleeping. And sleeping is restorative. We really need it. Just like our phone dies with no charging the battery, we need that restorative sleep, and we need to get that. That's why I was out in the sunshine. We need to get into the brain mode when your rhythm is like, okay, now is the morning, I get the morning sun. At sunset, you stare at the sunset. It's safe to do that at the time where all the colors changing. And that's why you notice when we go on holiday and we have the time to watch the sunsets, we sleep so much better, because you give in the information to your brain from your eyes that, okay, the end of the day is coming, I'm ready to relax.
Yeah.
When we are blasting the monitor, the phone, and the laptop light, the brain is like, oh, no, it's still daytime, I have to work. So you cannot go to sleep exactly the moment after you switch off your phone. There's no way. Your brain still thinks it's daytime. So there's a lot of things related, but with Pilates, the movement, the gentle movements, and the relaxation and stretching and breathing really helps to get you cozy and in bed. So we will do Cozy Pilates on our sessions for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
You describing it is calming my nervous system. Just you saying, taking the time to breathe and reconnect with your body.
Yeah.
Just making that time for yourself and making it into a ritual throughout this 3 months. Because yes, we have a 6-week program, but everyone will have access to your videos for 3 months and all of your explanations on how to do it correctly. So this is wonderful. Yeah, I love stretching before bedtime. Just like you were saying, the hips, we sit a lot during the day, even driving and then sitting in front of the TV or sitting at the kitchen table. It's just a lot of tight hip, constriction. So I like to also take some magnesium. I love having that calming tea before going to bed. It really helps, with just kind of calming the body, having that ritual. And reading from a book rather than from the screen helps me a lot too. It's just like a different vibration, right? It doesn't activate you as much. So yeah. And also writing down like notes at the end of the day for the busy minds, that can't shut off. So just writing Actually, it's nice to write down what you've accomplished during the day, so you kind of feel like there's a sense of accomplishment. It's not so much as what do I have to do for the next day. It's always like chasing after what you haven't done, but
Yeah.
really giving gratitude for what you've already accomplished is so nice. It's reaffirming, right? And it's like it gives you that comfort at the end of the day to know that, okay, what you set out to do, you've actually done even one or two. It
Yeah.
just gives a sense of like knowing that, okay, I'm okay. I'm not always chasing after things that I need to get done.
And that's our goal. We want in these 6 weeks to help you establish some really healthy, good habits so that when you're out of the program, you have, of course, the recording. So it's 6 weeks plus 3 months. And then you can also stay in touch with us from the Facebook group. And just like saying, hey, I had my chamomile tea and I wrote down what I did today, so now I know that's the protocol for good sleep. So it's nice also to track what you did today that made your sleep better. So we also want you to be aware, and as you changing habits, you want to write down as well, okay, the chamomile tea magnesium was the best combo. Did I eat much sugar at dinner? Because that also affects our sleep, right? It kicks, the insulin, and then you're like, woo, you want to get all active. So, and then and many people, I need to address that. Many people think that, oh, I need to go for a walk for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's not necessary. Even just 15 minutes of movement. If you do decide to have dessert after dinner, take that 10-15 minute walk, and you'll see that you're still able to sleep, you're still able to calm, and it's not the end of the world, right? Because
Yeah.
we know that reality, we cannot stop eating sugar and desserts, but if you 80% of the time you're doing it and 20% you are having pleasurable dessert, it's just as it's rewarding, right? We cannot just say never ever, because that's not sustainable.
Yeah, that's right. We have to be realistic. There's always going to be birthday parties, but also in the program, I say birthday parties because there's a bunch coming up, and I'm like, I'm the one ordering the cakes, and I'm like trying to tell people not to have sugar. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, we also can replace some sugars too. Even how we choose what kind of cakes or what kind of desserts, or even the portion sizing. A lot of that can also be modified. In this program, we talk about a lot of different types of sweeteners and recipes that you can also make at home, so that you can still enjoy the
Yeah.
taste, flavor, and also, I mean, sugar in excess. Not only does it contribute to the candida, the overgrowth, but there's also a mineral deficiency that can happen because it's really considered an anti-nutrient, meaning it depletes the body. So it depletes you from your minerals. So by having sugar, but then replenishing the minerals, at least you're going to help your body still restore some of the loss. So just make sure you do replenish with mineral-rich foods. If you're having sugar, and even having some mineral-rich broths and teas, that could also help. Or supplement if you really can't get that variety of food.
Yeah.
But we talked about hydration and how it's so important to put electrolytes and sea salt, and even put different kinds of fruits to infuse the water. And so I
Affects
like
the yeast infections,
just
right? If you
to add
dehydrate,
some more electrolytes.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you dehydrated, you have more yeast infection, right? Because it's all connected to flushing and detoxing, right?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it, Alexandra. It's
Yes.
wonderful that we get to chat about these topics, but we want you to also join us for a more in-depth practice, because I mean, of course we can talk and we can have the theory, but we really need to put this into our daily
In
practice
action.
and
Yeah.
action. Yes. And it
Yes.
has to be realistic. Otherwise it's not sustainable.
Yeah, no, it's not like a keto thing when you're excited and you do it for like 3-4 weeks, and then you're like, I cannot eat like that anymore. It's impossible not to have bread, right? It's like, come on.
Yeah,
So
but just
yes, we're gonna.
knowing how to navigate that is important too. Like knowing what to do and what symptoms to look out for.
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling puffy, if you're having that white coating on your tongue, for example, those are symptoms. If you're getting body odor and you're starting to smell that like yeasty smell, a bit of sour, those are symptoms. That I remember going to the gym and going back to the office, and I would have the smell in my body. But I would be asking people, so do I smell like really sour? Do you smell anything? And they're like, no, I don't notice. But I noticed it. Or the feet, very often you'll have more stronger smells in the feet as well of sour vinaigrette, kind of like fermented smells. That's an imbalance of bacteria too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people who do have that overgrowth tend to have like fungus on their toes and these kinds of symptoms.
Right? When you have a
Yeah,
white tongue, that's a sign for me. When my tongue is white and it's just like really feel what's going on with.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So those are the things that even though we cannot avoid breads and pastas for like 100%, but those are things at least in this course you're going to be able to practice and know when to go back on track or when to change course to kind of
I
maneuver.
can't wait. I can't wait, Cindy. Okay. How wonderful. Okay, so we're going to have the link in the caption. So actually, you have one more day to benefit from the early bird discount. It's going to go 200 more from 1st of June. So you guys take advantage of the deal we have for you. And if you have any questions, we're here for you, right? We are available. We always check our Instagram.
Yes,
So
reach out anytime.
anytime. Thank you, Cindy. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we've covered a little bit of what we're going to be talking about. We can talk about it for hours, of course. But
Yeah,
yeah, I really encourage you all to take advantage of this early bird discount. And part of it will be also provided for insurance. So you can also consider that if you're living in Canada.
yeah.
So do reach out if you have any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Cindy. See you guys until our next live.
Everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye.